And I don't wear shorts and sandals on stage. But he said, I really appreciate it because it shows me you take it seriously. And I said, well, thank you very much. And as soon as I got my notes from him, I got in my car, I drove straight home, I took a shower, and I put on a 3-piece suit. And I went back for the third night. We all did a few minutes, and then the top 4 went on stage to do their final 5 minutes. I was one of the 4. And they called my name, and I go up there and I do a 5 minutes that I had not done yet. So that was another little edge. I thought, well, I'm not going to do the same stuff I did before. So I whip out this 5 minutes that I had not done before. And the first joke just hit. I don't know what it was, but they were all with me. And that set just worked really well. And I even ad-libbed in the middle. One joke didn't work so well. And I said, oh, I've lost you. In the middle of the finals of a contest, I've lost the audience. Huh. Well, this is a challenge, isn't it? Well, let's see if I can get out of this tailspin. And somehow I did. They were with me. And then we get on stage, and she wants all the comedians on stage for the announcement. And I'm a little taller than some people, so I stood in back, and one of the comedians pushed me in front. And I said, what are you doing? He says, get up there. You're going to win. I said, what do you mean I'm going to win? He said, yeah, you're going to win. You killed it. The other 3 finalists were great, but you were better. You're going to win. And sure enough, a minute later, she called my name. I was stunned. I was like, wow, really? So I took it, said thank you very much, and it's a nice line on the resume. It's a very nice line on the resume.
Yeah,
so
definitely
glad to have done that. But it's another example of, take chances, take shots. And this is the value of having a day job, because I could afford to enter it. I could afford to take time off work during the day. And that's, an unemployed comedian has an advantage over me. They can write all day. And then they can start hitting mics at 5 in the afternoon and probably go till 2 in the morning. And they can do 5 or 6 mics a night, which is very valuable, especially when you're starting out. Yeah. And that's something I couldn't do. So you use your relative advantages when you can.
How did Late Night Cup of Joe come about?
Oh, good question. That started as a writing class, actually. Jerry Corley, who runs the stand-up comedy clinic, standupcomedyclinic.com, everybody.
Put that in the show notes.
He started this class he wanted to do, and I was in one of the students in the first class. And then he said, okay, we're going to put on a showcase of our best bits, our best late-night jokes, our sketches, our desk bits, whatever we've come up with. And he said, let's make it look like a real show. I want you to host it. He says, I've always seen you as a host. Ever since you first came in here, I thought you'd be a great host. And I said, well, if you're going to go to this much trouble, let's have a guest. And so there was a comedian, singer, songwriter guy that we know, Chris Valenti. We got him to be a guest. I interviewed him. I didn't know anything about interviewing, really. I just thought, well, I'll ask him his influences and so on. And then he sang a couple songs after our opening monologue and all that. And then a few months later, another class ended, and Jerry had me host that one. I said, if we're going to go to this much trouble, why don't we do this every month? Let's make this a real thing. And I think that was the impetus he needed. I don't think he was going to say, let's do this every month. But once I said, let's do this every month, then he got on board and said, all right, let's do it. Let's produce this show. And that's been over a year now. July of last year, we started going every month. So we're up to 17 shows now, something like that. I don't know.
And this is just performed in front of an audience?
Yes, it is performed. It's a live audience, and we finally have the tech capabilities for live streaming. So if you go to YouTube and just look up Late Night Cup of Joe, you will find our YouTube channel with some of the shows on there. We're having trouble recording these and getting them edited, and some aren't edited. Sometimes it's just the one main shot for the whole thing. But at least you can see some of what we do up there. And it's turning into a thing. We're getting a bigger live stream audience. We're selling out shows. We're getting some higher profile guests. We had the illegitimate son of Elvis Presley on a recent show, and he brought his birth certificate, his actual birth certificate. We scooped TMZ on that one. That was a thing. That was pretty cool, and he's a great guy too. We had an actress, friend of mine. She was in Captain Marvel a few months ago. She had a substantial role in that. Sharon Blynn was her name, and so look her up. And she was a great guest. Great to have her on the show. And word is spreading. You keep at it, keep doing something, and it's something that I like doing, and it plays to my sensibilities. So I'm just trying to do things that not only am I good at, but things that other people aren't doing. There are literally 9,000 stand-up comedians in Los Angeles, and I don't think that's an exaggeration. It sounds like a joke, but it isn't. I think there are that many. And you got to stand out the best way you can. And there aren't too many of them that a lot of them have podcasts, but there aren't many who have live talk shows with an audience and cameras. So we're putting some effort into that. But it's a good thing. And if you're ever in Burbank, why come on by to Late Night Cup of Joe and get a beverage and watch a talk show.
Is it at the stand-up clinic?
It is at the stand-up comedy clinic in Burbank. Yeah.
Gotta check it out.
Modest studio, and it's a fun time. It's had by all.
So what's next for Joe?
More of the same. We're doing the talk show once a month and just promoting it like hell. Trying to get more corporate events. As a clean comedian, you can do Christmas parties and things, and they pay you nicely for these events. So I have to put on the marketing hat and go hustle up some of those. And I've also decided to try my hand at public speaking. I like how I stammer as I say that. I'm trying to get about public speaking.
You can do it.
Yeah. So I'm starting to put together a public speaking package. And what do I know that can help people? And it's after years of proofreading, I know how to proofread. And I know how to help people proofread their own emails. Before you said a send all email at work, here's how you look at it again without a mistake. Here's how you do things without losing a client because you printed something with some embarrassing error on it. And I know some tips and tricks for that. And I know after years of stand-up comedy and years of writing, I know how to make it funny. Because I've already done a few of these, and I've got a few testimonials and some video and a few clients out of it. So that's another thing I'm doing. So if you'd like me to come to your area and deliver my talk about how to proofread and I can be funny about it, that came out wrong. I can make it entertaining, not be funny about it.
That's right.
But for a writer, I'm my word choice good.
No, you ever just hit me? You're probably good at voiceovers. You ever consider that?
Yes, I have. I've heard that many times over the years. I think it boils down to I can't do everything. I'm doing a lot of things, and I've looked into it over the years. And when opportunities present themselves, and I've had a couple of things fall out of the sky where people say, "Hey, would you do this thing?" Yeah, sure. But as far as pursuing it, I like it. I don't love it. And in especially in Los Angeles, it's insanely competitive.
Yeah, I'm back for some reason, but yeah, I know it's competitive there. And voiceover is something you can do at home now, so it's really competitive. All you need is the right setup.
Do you remember when the internet really took off in the 90s, and everybody thought, "Well, I'll just be able to sell my cat carriers with flowers on them or whatever and make $1 million." Well, what they didn't realize was the tide rose for all the boats. Yeah, it's easier for you to sell stuff online, but guess what? It's also easier for your competitors to sell stuff online. So what really changed here? So that's that. It's like that. It's like, oh, well, I can do voiceover at home. Well, yeah, you know who else can? Everyone.
Yep.
So maybe what can you offer that the average person can't? And not completely ruling it out, but it's like everything else I've learned. Most things in life, yeah, you can profit from them, but it takes time.
Do you think we all have an artist inside of us?
Do we all have an artist inside of us? Sure. And we should charge him rent. Of course we do. I think if you broaden the definition of art, I imagine the problem is a lot of people who don't think they're artistic probably have too strict a definition of what art is. It doesn't have to be a masterpiece. I don't think any great artist started out making masterpieces. So I'm positive they didn't. I can't think of one who started out as a master. So if you think your writing is terrible, or your painting is terrible, or your dancing is terrible, well, congratulations, you're in amazing company, because I'm sure all the masters were terrible too when they started. So bottom line is, I would say just take the pressure off yourself. So yeah, and also you don't know how good it might be. Maybe you're going to do something that no one else has ever done before. So yeah, do it anyway. Do it for yourself. Do it to get it out, just to get out of your system, just because you want to try it. You don't have to show it to anybody. You don't have to submit it to a magazine or an anthology series to have some editor send a nasty letter back or anything. You don't know. Just do it to do it, and see what comes of it. And then if you're feeling gutsy, well then put it out there in public. Put the blog post up there. Submit the article or the play or whatever it is to a publisher or whatever, or whatever.
Exactly.
Do karaoke. Go do karaoke. Why do we only do karaoke drunk? Why is that one of those art forms that everyone thinks, I can only do that drunk?
Oh, no one ever says that.
No one ever says, you know what? I've always wanted to be a painter, but I'm not courageous enough. I need a few beers in me first. No, just do it. Just give it a shot. Just go now. You're not. There's never. I'll be ready. You're never going to be ready. You're ready now. If you're asleep, you're not ready. When you wake up, okay, now you're ready. Exactly. So just do it. Just give something a try and lay off the critic. And the whole world there's 7 billion critics. Mm. Everyone's a critic. I mean, as soon as they get the internet in some third world country, they're going to go straight to your YouTube channel and tell you how stupid your video is. Everyone's a damn critic. Mm. So, but there's only one you create and stuff. So just go create stuff and see if your tribe shows up. Just have at it.
That's good advice. And now, what about advice for future stand-ups, comedians?
Try it. Similar advice. Try it. If you bomb, ask yourself why. Maybe you don't suck at it. Maybe the audience was terrible. Watch other comedians. If they're not getting laughs, well, then maybe it wasn't you. Maybe the room was just difficult. Find the stuff that irritates you and make it funny. That's what Carlin said. Mm-hmm. Write down the stuff that you find confusing or maddening or infuriating or frustrating and it embrace that side of you that would resonate most with what you're complaining about. It's Jerry Seinfeld never actually gets mad. He's always confused. He's like, why does gravity go down or whatever? I don't know why. Whatever his stuff was, but it's always why. I don't understand. And then there's some people who are just angry. If you're angry, embrace that. If you're confused, embrace that. Another piece of advice I give people is if you've got friends saying you should do stand-up comedy, do the stuff that makes your friends laugh, because it'll probably work with other people too. Try to replicate that stuff. Look at Felipe Esparza. Look at Fluffy, Gabriel Iglesias. Mm-hmm. These guys, they tell stories about their stupid friends. Do that. If you've got stupid friends, do that. A lot of people make fun of their wives. Louis C.K. making fun of his children. That's funny. It's so inappropriate.
Yeah.
But it resonates.
Yeah.
It resonates. They're doing stupid crap that to adults is stupid. If you're ambivalent enough to talk about your children in those terms, it's funny. Yeah. He makes fun of how dumb his daughter is. It's hilarious. So do that stuff and give it a try, but give it an honest try. Don't do it and say, that the audience didn't laugh. Well, if you're doing it at church, then no, that might not be the right place. But if there's an open mic at a bar, or if it's karaoke night at your local bar, if you're in some small town that doesn't have a comedy club, maybe it's karaoke night. Ask if you can MC karaoke night, and try to throw in a joke in between comedians or something. Find a place, just give it a shot. Do it at a laundromat. Everybody, all these bored people sitting there watching their clothes go in circles. Yeah, they'd probably appreciate somebody for 5 minutes telling a few jokes. Just find a place, give it a shot. Open mic in your town, open mic on Tuesday. Don't wait till Tuesday in 2074. Do it now. Just go next week. Get 5 minutes, get 3 minutes. Just give it a shot.
So where can people connect with you, Joe?
You can find me on the social medias. Mm-hmm. Let's see, I'm on Twitter at Joe Dungan. I am on Facebook. There aren't too many Joe Dungans. I don't know what my exact handle is, but I'm sure you can find it. There aren't a whole lot of Joe Dungans. JoeDungan.com if you'd like to see some more about me and maybe a reel of my comedy and try to maybe hire me for your event. Oh, we've got our company Christmas party. Yeah, I might fly to your city. What the heck? I'd go around. Mm-hmm. Look up Late Night Cup of Joe. You can find that on YouTube. You can find Late Night Cup of Joe on Instagram. It is LNCJ, as in Late Night Cup of Joe. LNCJ Lowline Show, or underscore show. LNCJ underscore show. And you find one, you'll connect to the other. So I'm kind of throwing stuff all over the place. And you can email me if you want. JoeDunganComedy@gmail.com. If you want to email me and say, I liked your podcast, or I didn't, whatever. Just Joe Dungan Comedy.
We'll take
gmail.com.
Yeah.
And you can find me. I'm around.
Right. And the final question. Why does art matter?
Why does art matter? I kind of think it's the one of the points of humanity. I think wasn't it? I forgot the exact quote.